Yo, what's going on? Before I start this video, I just want to say shout out to the Patreons again. I normally upload most of my presets or whichever ones that the Patreon asks on the Discord, including this vocal preset as well. So if you want to get that and other things, the Patreon's in the description. So let's get it. So the first thing that I started off with is actually a pad from the CS80 called CS Electric Piano, and I added some effects to it. First I started off with the Valhalla delay, then I went on to the Schweppes to EQ some of the highs and the lows, then Shaper Box to give it that pulsing, phasing sort of sound, ducking sound. I added a Wolf compressor to make it sound old and compressed, and I added another EQ to take out the lows again. Then after that, I added a Percloop from Me and Five's Aperture kit, link in the description, and I sort of have that playing in the background to fill up space and add texture. Then after the Percloop, I added a bass. This is actually from Me and Five's Aperture kit again, the Kid Seaghost bass, and I sort of have it flowing in and out on the beginning of each bar and on the next chord that plays. Right, now after that, I have another pad playing in the back, but this is one that I actually made in the Wavetable, right? So I have the Wavetable here, and then some of the effects that I added is first you could hear Lohi to take out some of the highs and add a little bit of distortion, just a tiny bit of distortion. Then after that, I have the Good Hertz wow control to sort of make it wobble a bit. And going on after that, I have a compressor again to compress the sound and give it that old sounding feeling. Then after that, I have Valhalla delay just to give this sound a bit more substance. Then I have some Schweppes to EQ the high and the low end a bit, and I ran it through Corey Wong to sort of give it that old warm feeling like it's being run out of an amp. Now for the next thing is the piano. The preset that I use is actually the soft piano preset, or just the regular piano default piano preset that pops up on Keyscape sometimes. And all I really did is that I added a Wolf compressor. I turned on the compression a bit, but I turned up the lo-fi a lot. And for the Schweppes, all I really did was EQ out the low end. Personally, when it comes to recording my vocals, what I like to do is record from a distance, and I like to do a lot of harmonies and a lot of layers, which includes singing some of the same layers again, since it adds a lot of substance and texture to the vocals. And for the processing, what I did is that I added some Valhalla Uber mod to make it sound a bit more ambient. For my shifting, to shift it down a bit and add a bit more texture, Schweppes so that I can take out some of the highs and some of the lows, and finally some Clever for just some extra reverb in the back to make it sit well. Now the next thing that I went on to is the guitars. Now for these guitars, I wanted them to occupy the high to high, mid-high, whatever you call it, frequency, since there was a lot of other elements that were occupying the lower frequencies in the sample, and I just wanted it there to even it out, right? So the first effect that I have on it is Schweppes to boost the highs and to boost the mids, and I took out the lows as well. Then after that, I have some Valhalla delay, but I have it mixed really low. Then I have Valhalla Uber again, but I have that mixed very low again to have in the background, and then I added some Shaper Box to give it that ducking sidechain effect. Now going on to the next element, this is actually the Thermae pad that I had layered on top of the guitar. Now for this, I think I turned up the Init 1 and Init 2 knob to like a quarter note I think, and I turned up the region a lot. If you had the Thermae pedal, you know what I'm referring to. And the original sound is actually that custom wavetable thing that I made earlier that I actually just ran through the Thermae. Now next, I actually have 3 percussion one-shots from Me and Five's Aperture one-shot kit. And for these, I didn't really do much processing other than reverb. And I sort of placed them in a spot that emphasizes the drop, where everything else like the piano and the vocals come into play. Now coming up next is actually some more guitars that I have playing in the second part with the acoustic guitars. I actually put this on my Fender Telly with my Fender Champion 40 amp. And finally, I have some additional vocals going on throughout the sample. And for these, I didn't really do much other than adding some reverb and some delay. Stock Ableton reverb and delay to sort of fill up that space in the back. But anyway, thanks for watching the video. Shout out y'all, shout out my supporters, shout out the Patreons. Y'all really making this shit happen. So yeah, I really appreciate it. I have some special stuff planned. If you're trying to get loaded up on samples, one shots, etc. every month, and you know where to go, Patreon description. So yeah, I'm gonna catch y'all though. Peace.